What's going on, guys? Killer6, and I have got a very cool guide for you guys today. Those of you guys who utilize the Maurice Black Market machine every single week, I have a cool trick for you to basically just keep on using the machine over and over again without having to wait the standard 30 minutes that you normally have to wait for the machine. And I'm going to show you how to do that in this video. Now, I'm also going to show you guys another cool trick so that you can reset the contents of your Black Market machine. So if you got junk in there, I can show you guys how to change that. So stay tuned for that part after this. I am on PC, so I'm only really going to be able to show you guys the PC method, but I was told by my viewers there is a way to do it as well on console, but it requires using the cloud save option. And I am not proficient on console to be able to tell you guys how to do that. So if anybody wants to try this, and leave it in the comments below on what you had to do in order to make this work on console, then I will pin that comment, so look for that if you're on console. All right, so basically what we're going to do is we're going to our Black Market machine, which is located here this week. It's going to be in a different spot every week, so you know, me showing you this here right now doesn't really matter a whole lot, but we went from the makeshift chalet over here to my Black Market machine. Now, what I want to do before I interact with this thing and like cause it to go on its 30-minute reset is I'm actually going to load up my save file. On PC, this is how we do it, but on console, what you'll do is you will upload your save file to the cloud and then come into the game. And my best understanding of this is that after you check the machine on console, you will transfer anything that you take from the machine to your bank so that you still get to keep that because your bank is on a separate save file. But you go back out and you reload your save off of the cloud, put it back into the cloud, and then you can come check the machine again. And you should be able to do that over and over again. And you're going to see the PC equivalent version here. So what I've done here is I've gone into documents, my games, Borderlands 4, save games, and then you're gonna have like a long series of numbers. Everybody's numbers is different, and if you're like me, every once in a while I like to right click and drag and make a copy of it, and then I will set it to like we'll say this one is now January, we'll say January 2026. This way I have a backup of my saves, and as you can see, I've done this several times now, and I'm actually going to delete the old ones because we're good. You want to just basically keep a backup, that way in case you do mess something up, you can revert back to this and you can delete the files here. All right, anyhow, so once you get into this folder, you have profiles and then client, and then it's going to have all your save files. You can sort them by name, which will be like 1 2 3 4 5 all the way down, you know, numerically, or do it by date modified, and that's going to bring up whatever save you have currently loaded up. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to right click on that save, I'm going to hit properties, and I'm going to choose read only. Now if you click on this and you get this, if you get this where it already has like this dash through read only, then you've done something wrong. So just hit cancel and then right click again and hit properties until you get this version where it's all clear down here. And all we do is we turn on read only, we hit apply, and I'm going to leave this pulled up so that I can like undo it later on, because you want to make sure that once you're done doing this, you turn off read only so that you can actually acquire things again. So now that my game is on read only, it's not going to realize when I reload that save that I've checked the Maurice Black Market. So I'll just show you. So let's go ahead and use the machine. Let's see what we got in here. So right now I've got the Rowan's charge, I've got the lead balloon. So if we went through here and we were like, okay, I really want this one, you know, this one's got pretty high DPS. So I'm gonna grab this one, and normally, boom, that's it. You know, you save quit, you're like stuck. But as you can see up here in the corner, it says save failed. That's because I put my game to read only, so it can't even save. So if right now, if I quit out the game and I reloaded back in, I would not have that Rowan's charge. It would just be gone. So what we want to do is we want to then take this item that we just now bought from the Black Market machine, send it to our bank, boom, and that's it. Now we quit out the game to main menu, and this is probably the trickiest part of this whole thing, other than just turning on read only, which that could be scary for some of you guys. All right, so now what we have to do is we have to load up a different character. I'm going to load up this Jacob's Rafa. You want to make sure that you don't load a character that is like level 1 to level 30, you know, a character that hasn't beat the game and hasn't already done Maurice Black Market stuff. Make sure you switch to a character that has done that stuff, and then we will load right back onto my Harley Harlow, and we'll hit continue, and you'll get this pop up every once in a while, say failed to save data. Don't worry about that, because all that means is you're still set to read only, and therefore it can't save any progress that you make on this character. So don't bother picking up things, don't bother buying ammo, don't bother. Wow, okay. Can you imagine if we got a freaking triple roll what's for dinner during this? But yeah, don't bother with like doing anything unless you're going to send it to your bank. So if you do find other legendaries while you're on read only, make sure you send them to your bank, because once you reload your save, everything like that will be gone. So as you can see, we've reloaded our save, and now we can just interact with the machine again. I could buy another Rowan's. This one's even higher damage than the last one, or we could, if we saw a lead balloon that we wanted. But I'm going to add further to this video. I'm going to take this up one more notch, because here's what I want to show you guys. All right, so let's go ahead and quit out the game to the main menu, and I'm going to load up a different character. Also, at this point, if you wanted to, you could turn off read only. If you're done farming the black market machine on this character, for example, you could turn off read only. But I want to switch to a different character, so I've now swapped over to my Jacob's Rafa, and then without doing anything else, I am then going to swap over to a low level character. Now you can make a brand new, as a matter of fact, I'm just going to show you guys. I'm going to make a brand new character, and it has to be a new level 1 character, and you can do it on normal, easy, hard, whatever. And yes, I want to skip the prologue, and we'll just choose Siren. It doesn't matter who you choose here. And then as soon as this starts up, I'm just going to go ahead and save quit. You don't have to like do anything on this character. So I'm just gonna like quit out to main menu, and then all you have to do at that point, if you're on that level 1 character, as you can see here, or level 2 character rather, I'm going to quit the game. Now what we're doing here is we initially load up a character that has access to the black market machine, like my Jacob's Rafa does. He's level 50, he's ultimate 6, he's ready to go do that. And then we swap to a new character or a low level character that has never interacted with the Maurice Black Market machine. And what that's going to do is it's going to trick my black market machine into giving me different inventory. So here's the worst part of this though, is we actually do have to quit the game while we're on this level 1 character. So we quit the game, and you can see I'm still on read only with my Harlow there. That's going to be important here in a second, because I'm going to actually go back to her again and show you guys that she can now get that new inventory on read only. So we're going to go and start the game back up. And again, this is the worst part, having to like reload your game. But the idea here is that if you have junk in your Maurice Black Market this week, say you've got like, I don't know, the sideshow and a zipper, right? And you're like, man, that's a terrible week. Well, with this method, you can just, go over there and get brand new stuff. So I've loaded up my Harlow, who is still on read only, so nothing she does can change. And we're going to go back over here and see if this machine does now have different inventory in it. And voila, now we have the Hoarder and the Cinder Chile. And well, quite frankly, I don't want either of those. So what we can do is we can change it again. And once again, this is so easy. You don't have to make a new level 1 character this time, because we made a new level 1 character a moment ago, right? So all we have to do now is we click Load Vault Hunter, and we load up that level 2. I'm sorry, I thought it was level 1, but we load up that level 2, and then we just quit the game. And then we come back in, we load back in on our Harlow, rinse, repeat. That's all there is to this trick. And I've tested this. I've swapped out until I had wombo combos in the machine. I had a friend who swapped multiple times until they had the bot in the machine. So you can do this as much as you want. You can end up getting the what's for dinner in your machine. There's so many different options that you can hope for in this machine, and this is just a really quick and easy way to show you guys that this works. This is a cool technique. I didn't discover this. It was found on Reddit. I will link the Reddit post down in the description if you want to like go see the written guide. And I'm going to go back over there one more time just to show you guys that once again we can change this out over and over again. This is the most time consuming part, but even this part, doing this takes less time than waiting on the machine to reset for 30 minutes. So we're going to load back in on our Harlow, and we're going to head back over there one more time. And in the machine this time we ended up with the what's for dinner and the fisheye. Okay, fisheye is pretty cool to have in here, because normally that's a little tougher to get, and we got one with Jacobs, but I would be definitely farming this machine to get the siphon and amp version of the watts for dinner, or triple amp, but I've already got the triple amp. But yeah, so as long as I don't reload that low level character and then switch back to a high level character, this machine will stay locked into the watts for dinner, even on this read only version of Harlow. So ultimately this guide shows you two things with the black market machine. Number one, how to repeatedly use the black market machine. Again, we just got to reload our save every time, which means we do have to swap over to another character and then swap back to Harlow. Make sure that we don't click this guy. So we swap back over to Harlow and then we hit continue, and then we're still back on that read only Harlow, and we can just keep checking this machine over and over again. And then the second thing was how to change your inventory in the black market machine. If you enjoyed this guide, please make sure you leave a like. That would be greatly appreciated. Share this video on social media if you'd like to, and if you haven't already, hit subscribe, man. I make item guides, tips and tricks, playthrough videos. I cover the news and information on Borderlands. If you haven't already subscribed, now's a good time to do that. And let's see if we got lucky. We did not. No luck on that. But we could also, you know, we could buy a fisheye right now if we wanted to, or if we saw a decent watts for dinner, we could buy it. And again, let's say that this one was one that we did want, but it wasn't the perfect one. Let's say that we wanted this one, but we want to keep on coming back over. So again, you buy it, and just remember, all you have to do is once you find one that you want, make sure that you send it to your bank. If you don't send it to your bank, then it's lost, because every time you reload this character, anything that I've picked up between refreshing the save will be lost unless I send it to the bank. So just keep that in mind. All right, guys, appreciate y'all watching, and I'll see you all in the next one. Take care.